Let's get this show started. My name is Orlando Baxter. Welcome to another episode of School Tales with Orlando. We have a very special guest today. But before we get right into it, I want to give a big shout out to my homegirl from Boston, Miss Sam J. If you don't know the good news, she just got a TV deal. She might be she's doing a late night show on HBO. I mean, it's like fresh news. So shout out and congrats to Sam J, one of the most talented comics to ever come out of Boston, who keeps doing amazing things. And I'm very happy, very proud. She deserves it all. Shout out to my homie, Sam J. But let's get this started. I hope you guys' Tuesday is going well. I have a very special guest all the way from the UK. I'm going to connect her now. What's up, Tony? Oh, yeah, we got a couple people on here. Hold on. Let's see. Let's get her in here. My homie Dominique Davis in the building. Let's go. Where is she at? We are waiting for it to connect. Waiting for her to jump on. Morning, Dominique. Shout out to Dominique for staying up so late to be on the show. What are you, 5 or 6 hours ahead in the UK?
Yeah, I think about 5, because it's about 7 o'clock where you are, because you're on the east side, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's 5. If you're on the west, oh God, it'll be like 8. You know, I'll be like, oh, what, 3 in the morning? Oh man, like, I'll be like, oh, where's my Frosties? You know, that's something.
Well, listen, I'm happy and excited that you're on the show and you waited up late, because people don't realize.
No, you know what? I'm already locked up. You know, I'm on house arrest right now.
You are on house arrest. Can you explain
because the reason why I'm wearing this, because I had a brain surgery about a month ago, so I don't want anyone to see the scars.
So that's. I
want to see this yellow thing. Look like I stole it from Walmart or something, whatever shops you guys have, CVS or something. You know, yeah, I've been to America before.
You've been to America before? What part?
So when I was 4 years old, America was the first country I ever traveled to with my mum. My mum used to live in America in the 80s. So we have cousins down there. Then I went to Florida. International Drive is a very long road. I can't believe it. I was like, wow. But it's a good Disneyland. You've got the best Disneyland there, because Disneyland Paris sucks. Mickey Mouse speaks some different language. Yeah, Disneyland Paris, man. Nah, you see, it's fraud. Disney, Mickey Mouse and Minnie and Goofy going, bonjour, madame, blah, 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 blah. No, that's not my Mickey Mouse. No. I feel robbed, you know?
Yeah, you do feel robbed. I would agree. It is highway robbery. Now, in comparison of the two, you definitely would say the U.S., the Disney World, Florida one is much better than the Paris one.
Yeah, you know what? Everyone's all dedicated. I'm sorry if anybody believes in Disney in this, yeah, but all those actors and actresses, they're really doing their thing, going like, you know, kick up their legs like, hi, hey, you guys, hey, you gonna ready to play? Nah, you know, I'm like, bro, you know what? What drugs are you taking? Okay, like, I feel like a psychologist when I'm going to Florida. Universal Studios and something. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Because we don't have that in Britain. To confess, in the UK, we're very half-baked here. And that leads me on to stand-up comedy. Stand-up comedy, we're very half-baked here. I have to say it, you know? You guys are like...
Let's
Oh, yeah, well, I'll explain it. So basically what I mean by we're very half-baked here, particularly black comedians, I say about 25% are 100% grounded, they know what they're saying, boom. But the 75 who are trying to get out there and trying to break through, you'll predict what their next joke is going to be. So they're playing on this game of like stay safe kind of thing, instead of give it 100% like most of you guys in America do. So that's why I applaud you guys. We'll soon get there, but I don't know when, because we're so like, oh, bougie and just, oh, don't talk about the baby mother from down the road in Streatham in South London. No, I know her. Yeah, you don't say her name, but people go, they know who you're talking about. because black
So,
people in Britain
so
we're a very small minority.
yeah, but I like the. I've been out there and I've done some comedy out there.
Yeah, I was meant to
Really
see you
good.
because I saw you on a poster one time. I was like, what? Another American? How many of these? How many of you guys are here? I feel like Samuel Jackson, the way he was going on about John Boyega and my man, Danny Cluler. Like, are they getting half paid? Like, what's going on? Yeah,
Was
they're
you
taking
at?
my
Was you
spot, man.
at?
What's going on?
Was you in? You wasn't in Scotland though. You wasn't in Edinburgh, were you?
I've been to Edinburgh Fringe twice. Once when I
Mm-hmm.
was about 19, 20 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second time. No, tell her. Yeah, no, second time I was 23. So like it was years ago. I'm now
Yes, you
29.
haven't made the voyage back. And for all you guys who don't know, Edinburgh is probably the largest art festival in the world. Am I correct?
Yeah, Edinburgh
And
Fringe is one of the oldest ones. It's for the pauper because you mostly get people doing things outside at the Royal Mile. You know,
mm, yeah.
say that to an American Royal Mile. They think you're talking about 8 Mile. And they're like, what? It's royal now. It's got diamonds. No, we're not talking about Eminem here. We're talking about Edinburgh Fringe. Yeah,
You're talking about Royal.
Scotland. You know what I mean? Like Eminem got
Yeah,
some
yeah,
blick.
yeah.
No.
Hey, look, no cobblestone on the American mile. No cobblestone.
Or some trainers on the wire, some Converses. No one dead like that. No.
Yeah, yeah.
So see, I haven't been there for years, but I'm glad I'm seeing and hearing that there's more black comedians, no matter if they're from the USA or the UK, going there. But it's
Yeah.
how they conduct themselves. Because when I went there twice, I'm still me. You know, black
Mhm.
girl, 5'5", South London, born in the south of London. You know,
South
brought up
London.
in the
So
ghetto, but we call it the
South
ends.
London is what? Brixton? Brixton area?
Yeah, that's my SW9 life, Lambeth. Yeah, but now I live in Croydon. You
You live
know,
in Creighton? Ah, Creighton's it's about 30 minutes away, right? 30, 40 minutes. Train
exactly.
ride.
See, it's not like you guys with the Greyhound buses going from like one place over there and you take one day of it. Nah, you know, you have to
Now,
get.
you know, I've been to England. I've been to England a bunch of times as a comic, but a lot of people don't know. I actually went to school there for a year in Leicester University in the Midlands.
That's boring, man. Why are you going there for?
Listen, I was young. I was a university student, and I was out the country. So for me, I was like, "Yo, I'm in a whole nother world." It was great. I had a good time,
That is a whole
but
other world.
it definitely wasn't. Now, when I went down to London, like when I got to hang out in London, I was like, "Oh, okay, I can see why it's boring in Leicester."
Yeah.
London's a whole nother world. I love London. I'm a huge fan. Uh,
So have you
my spot.
been to Brixton at night time?
No, I've never been. You know what's crazy? I've never been to Brixton. I've been to usually when
See,
I go.
you know what? You Americans make me sick, you know. You, Andrew Schultz, like, you know, all you guys, I'm telling you guys, come to Brixton.
No, you know,
You
but I
know?
did go. You know what I did do last year? I did
Where?
after festival. I did go to the carnival.
What, Notting Hill, Peckham? Where did you go to?
Not yeah, I think it was Notting Hill.
That's not
Definitely was
African
Notting.
carnival. That's Caribbean. Africans are trying to take over, man. See, what's happening is, right, this is a short story, right? What happened was, in the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, my mum's times, us West Indian, Caribbean folks been cussing Africans from day one, right, from school. So what's happening now is that there's a turnover where they're taking over everything, like Famalam comedy show, and then they got all these other representations going on TV. Even music, they got their top 10 Afro beats. And I'm thinking to myself, we have reggae, we have bashment, we have dancehall, we have
Yeah.
soca. I don't know why you guys are so excited. You know, it's just like, relax.
Yeah,
Stormzy, you're still a dark brother. You can play hide and seek and win. You win. Okay, all right then. Say nothing.
Now, let me ask you, how was it for you? Where'd you grow to school at? South London?
So yeah, like I said, born and raised in the south of
Okay.
London. I went to 3 primary schools, bad girl, and the first one was near Brixton. Then second one, West Norwood, so all in the south. So southwest, then southeast, and
Hmm.
then Croydon, which is like Surrey, you
Oh,
know.
so you end up going to Croydon
Yeah,
for
so it's like
school.
one long line. So again, imagine an international drive. It's like one long line I went
Hey,
through.
listen, you got your ass kicked out of London, right? You end up in Croydon.
Yeah. But my mummy though, she bought a house before houses with really high prices
Yeah.
because her and my stepdad, God rest his soul, made babies. They made me two brothers. So, you know, we had to go to bigger houses.
Mm.
But first flats, then houses. Or
Uh,
you guys call flats, what do you go, where's called them again?
apartments. Apartments.
That's too nice about apartments. What?
Yeah, whenever I remember the first time I heard flats, I was like, what the hell are they talking about? I live in a flat. I was like, what is that? A studio apartment? What is it? You know, I had no idea what it was. Very confusing. A lot of people think like culturally we're the same. It's not. It's not the same.
No.
You know what happened to me?
Trust me, I had to learn my Ebonics, you know. I still got to learn some more because remember, I speak English, you speak Yankee. It's two different languages.
Hey,
You see what I'm
listen,
saying?
I'm not gonna argue with that since you do live in England. You know what I mean? I can't. But you know, one time when I was in the first time I was in England, I wasn't even there 24 hours, and I went to Asda. I went to Asda. I got
Oh
through a
my
full
God, you have to
lesson.
ask them.
I
Okay.
went to Asda and I bought some drink. It looked like orange juice, but it was called like Tango or something like that, whatever it is. So I thought it was orange juice. So and I was tired. I hadn't slept. I just drank like half of it.
Yeah.
Had no idea you're supposed to dilute it with water. No concept. Wasn't thinking about it. Drank it. So then the next day
No.
I had a physical, and the lady was like, "Oh, there's something wrong with your urine." I was like, "I have no idea what's wrong with my urine." Apparently, it was
Mm-hmm.
what's that stuff called? It's like concentrated, whatever.
So you basically like Vimto, like sarsaparilla, but you say it's orange, so it must be Robinsons. You must have took some Robinsons and then didn't add no water to it, you know, thinking, oh, this is sweet, nom, 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 because you know American drinks, I know they're sweet anyway.
Yeah.
When I went to America, I had that thing that black people have the parties, not grape juice. What's it called again? Started with a K.
It starts with a K. Cranberry. Wait,
Yeah,
K.
nah, this sugary business you guys keep having.
Kool-Aid.
Yeah, Kool-Aid, you know. No,
Kool-Aid with
that's
a
not
K.
funny. Kool-Aids. Nah, I ain't gonna lie, it tastes delicious. But you know what? It gave me no, I went wee wee. Just I had acne as well. No, I needed
So
first
let me
aid,
ask you.
not Kool-Aid.
First aid, not Kool-Aid. So you needed first aid for your Kool-Aid. How did they make the Kool-Aid? Was it very sugary? Or
It was
was it,
very yes, diabetes. I nearly lost my
but you
toes.
know, don't blame America for that. You gotta blame whoever made the Kool-Aid for that. Because you
Who did
put
it?
the sugar in it.
Who
Huh?
did it? Who did it?
I have no idea made your Kool-Aid. And
Because
made you have
as a British
diabetes at a very young
as a
age.
British citizen, I demand an answer. I need a lawyer, you know, for that Kool-Aid. Wait,
So all right. So let me ask you, because I'm super excited because I believe you're my first international guest.
really?
Yes, you
What,
are.
what?
Yes, you are. Well, Kool-Aid. Uh, who was your favorite teacher growing up? If you think back, you've been to a lot of
Okay,
schools.
so my secondary school was predominantly black because it was banging between Brixton and West Norwood in South London.
Okay, so
So,
explain secondary school because in the U.S.,
oh, sorry, high school.
high school. Okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah, again, I learned my Ebonics and Americano, whatever it's called, right? Did that stuff. It's Theosaurus business. But yeah, I watched Breakfast Club. Don't worry. Yeah, so I went to high school, an all-girls school, because my mum said to me she don't want me to be pregnant before I do my GCSEs and my SATs test. So I was like, okay. But there was still some sexy boys outside of the school gates. So it didn't work. So yeah, went to all girls school, and say about 65% of the girls, us girls, are black and mixed. We did have problems with light skinned and dark skinned kind of stuff because there was skin bleaching things they were selling in South London. But one called My Fair Lady, it's still on there, and it's horrible. And at the time, one of my favorite teachers, she saved me from having a fight with 12 other girls.
Wow.
Felt like a Jackie Chan movie, you know, but it was just like, she saved me. No, because we bruise easily. And what it is, she saved me. And it was so weird because I remember we were watching, I think we were watching Roots for our history class.
Yeah.
You know, and talking about tonism and stuff, you know, and how the light-skinned people were inside the house and the dark-skinned were in the fields. Now, my school was called St. Martin in the Fields.
In the fields.
Exactly. So, and it's still around today. They haven't knocked down the building. And yeah, a lot of dark-skinned girls were very insecure because, you know, whether the brothers who they like, the Tyrones, the Leroys, and everyone who used to like jam outside the school, they'll go for the light-skinned one. But for me, I was jealous of dark-skinned girls. And when I told my teacher, so my favorite teacher, just leading to your question, one of my favorite teachers, Miss Atkins, she's a black woman, and I think her background is in Zimbabwe. So like Zimbabwe and Indian, I think, or Bangladeshi. So we call them Coolie, you know, it's black and Indian. And
you call them Coolie?
Yeah, we call them Coolie. Yeah.
Is that like?
I know
it's
a derogatory name. It's a derogatory name. We used to say it in the West Indies as well, but that's what we called. And yeah, like she told me, she said, right, why don't you tell these girls that same story that you had envy with dark-skinned women? Because when I was younger, I was jealous of Oprah Winfrey. I was jealous of Aunt Viv from Fresh Prince. I was jealous of Naomi Campbell. Who else was it that I was hating on? Oh, the black character from Rugrats. She used to come round, Angelica Pickles' friend.
Oh,
you know?
Black girl. That's what
she
was the black girl.
Yeah, and she weren't there that much, you know, but she knew her stuff. And I was like, how she knows this? You know? And people couldn't see from my perspective because of the media. You know, we have magazines like Young Voices, which used to be sold next to The Source, which is an American one. Then you had, I think you had Jet, and then you have this other one, Right On.
Right On. Yeah, Essence. Did you have Essence?
And they had, we had Essence later on. That's the thing. And they always showed fair-skinned women or a dark-skinned brother who's a hip-hop artist but with a fair-skinned lady, light-skinned lady, or Puerto Rican. And I said, wow. So I had to be on stage in the assembly hall, and tell them how my mindset was like, because my brothers, we have different dads. So them two have the same dad who's up in heaven. Whilst my dad, he's the light-skinned one, St. Elizabeth, Jamaica, you know, where all the lighties are, and they think they're too nice. But yeah, so we have that kind of problem. And it was problematic for the fact that I was very jealous of Scary Spice from Spice Girls. I didn't know she was mixed race. I thought she was black. You know? So it's those things there, you know? But people didn't see it from my perspective until they got older and a bit more wiser. You know, the ignorance is bliss, as they say. So when they open their minds and they're thinking, oh yeah. Because when you watch certain programs, not many light-skinned characters or actors are loud. They're very silent and very preserved. Especially here in Britain. If you watch soap dramas like EastEnders and all that kind of stuff.
I remember EastEnders.
Yeah, one light-skinned girl got killed by her husband, her aggressive husband. See what I'm saying? And her name's Chantel. You see? It's horrible. And the thing is, I look up to, what's her name? Miss Bratt's sister. She was in this comedy sketch called This Is All of Us. I think it was written by Will Smith, I think.
This is all. This is that. I don't remember that. That was that.
But you remember the cast, and there's this light-skinned lady who plays the mum. I've forgotten her name. But she was very feisty. She always coming with some angry eyebrows at times. And then you had, if you do look at Fresh Prince, you think of Will Smith's mother.
Yeah.
You know, who's lighter skinned, but you don't mess around with her. She reminds me of one of those
That's what,
characters
that
from The
was the
Good
second.
Time.
Oh yeah, yeah. His mother was light skinned on the show.
That's what I'm saying. And it's very rare you see a light skinned female be so grounded and like, don't mess with me, da 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 da. You know, but the problem is for me, that's African American. It wasn't Black British.
Yeah.
When they show Black British programs here, it's always a dark skinned woman with eyebrows like this, looking like McDonald's sign cut in half. You know, when she's angry, you're hungry for a Happy Meal. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like stereotypes, man. So,
Oh yeah, no, that's interesting because I never thought about like the differences between the stereotypes on British television.
yeah, it's like I said,
Like how
we're
is it
way behind.
because you've seen some American shows, obviously, and in
Yeah,
America you don't get to see as much British
no.
shows. What's the difference, do you think, between the black characters on a British show as opposed to an American show?
So it depends what show it is. If it's a comedy show,
Mhm.
I have to be really honest. I think when the 90s was finished and the early, noughties, 2000s, we lost our permission to be ourselves on comedy shows. Because there was a comedy show called The Crouches, and that didn't work. They
The
tried to
Crouch.
bring back the essence of Desmond's, which a lot of people think is Jamaican, but it's not. It's Guyanese, because my
Mhm.
mum's side family are from Guyana, which is South
Mhm.
America next to Brazil and Venezuela.
Yeah.
But you did have African characters in there who were not Nigerian. They were like from like Zambia, or sorry, Gambia, or
So were they playing Nigerian characters or?
no, no, no. That's the thing. That's the problem. Is that back in the day, in the night, so before the millennium, or even probably now, it was most of the Caribbean, the small islands. So you had Jamaican, you had Guyanese, you had Barbadian, you know, being represented. African came later on. I'll say 2005 to that, and until now.
Until you
And that's
started
even with
seeing more of
music.
those characters on TV.
Yeah,
Wow.
and even with commercials, like it's really weird when you see mixed couples, when you see a black man with a white woman and going, "Hey, do you want to save money for insurance?" Da 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 da. And they show a black man walking with his jumper and his shirt, and he looks very uncomfortable, looks very constipated, and his wife is meant to be this white lady, and the mixed race kids look like they never had their hair combed in their lives. It just yeah, we're really bad.
But
It's bad.
it's all casting, and obviously we don't own any of the networks.
Yeah,
So
it's just a quota.
yeah.
It's
Mm,
horrible. Um, so it's like that realism is not there. Like when they're advertising like a supermarket like Tesco's that we have here,
yeah.
um, they had this mixed family, and you can just tell actors, actors, actors. You don't look like her. What do you mean that's your mother? What? You just like we.
That's hilarious. You're like, that doesn't go together.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like this is not Connect Four. This is not Connect nothing, man. I can't even Connect Two. What the hell is this, man? This is.
That's crazy. Well, let's get back to this fight. How did your teacher save you from this fight?
Yeah, so she just broke it up and just
She
yelled.
broke it
She
up.
got
So the girls
powerful
were.
lungs.
Oh,
Black women got powerful lungs.
oh, she scared the hell out of everybody, huh?
Yes, of course. And
A
I
lot of times
remember,
that doesn't work in America. When you yell, they're like, okay, you're just adding
oh, so
ambiance
so
to the fight.
so that film, Coach Carter was a lie then.
Yes, goddamn lie. I don't know one teacher that broke up a fight like in high school with her mouth. That's it. She
Jeez,
gotta
man.
like
But
they gotta
I
like
watched
get in
I
there and
watched
like
Proud Family. I watched Proud Family. Like, that teacher yelled, man. I was like, yo, this
damn. Well,
don't
yo, why
mess.
why why was it 12-on-1? I'm still interested.
Oh,
12.
because that's how it's like down here,
Yeah,
and it's not one on one, it's always one versus five, one
yeah,
versus 10. And
yeah.
because I wasn't really mouthy back then, I had the power of the fists. and
Yeah.
I could handle a box. I was a bit like Mike Tyson, you know, but I didn't bite people's ears. You know, it tastes nasty anyway. But you know, with all that blue gel hair grease, I mean, you know, no, it's just all right. But what's it called? Blue Magic. That's it.
There you go. I know what you're talking about. Get that hair, get that grease in that hair.
And then yeah,
But she
but I'm a
saved it.
survivor though. And the
Okay.
fact that, you know, my teachers, because my head teacher she's mixed. So
Yeah.
her name was Miss Morrison. So she allowed me to do that speech in assembly and say to them, look, man, we just gotta support each other, because at the end of the day, if that boat ever comes, you black, I'm black, we're gonna be at the back. We're not gonna be Pirates of the Caribbean. Don't believe the hype. You know, we're gonna be going, oh yeah, the ship in the sea, like Mickey Mouse. You know what I'm saying? Black and white, like, and just whistling some songs. You know, no, we, no.
Y'all
And we were like
get
13,
on the same
13,
boat.
14, learning that.
Now you know what's what's very funny about that, not funny, but interesting is here you have the same thing. Like here you do have probably like there are issues where it could be like dark skin versus light skin, but it's more like joking around. It's not as I think it's a thing, but not as a big of a thing. And the
No,
reason
it ain't. I swear, back in your day, that Spike Lee movie caused problems when Lawrence Fishburne was doing this dance, right? And then all of a
yeah.
sudden, these lighties started fighting, like with
Oh,
the dancing brothers.
you talking about
Yeah.
school days. School days.
This is the
Yeah.
name of your. This is the name of your freaking thing. Like,
But you know, but here's the thing. When I was in England, the one thing I noticed, which is a lot very different from the US,
mm,
is when I went to university, I hung around with like Nigerians, Kenyans, Jamaicans, right?
no
But
wonder. Okay.
they all like when I went there, I was always trying to bring everybody together. Yo, let's go here, let's go get this person, let's go get that person. But I didn't realize in the States, that's just what we do. We don't look at like, you know, one group is not necessarily hanging with the Nigerian guys are not all hanging out with the Nigerian guys. The Ghanaian
Yeah.
guys are not all hanging out. But in England, I found it to be like that. Like it was
Yeah.
hard for them to want to like separate group wise.
Yeah, we call Peckham, which is in South London, mini Lagos, because there's a lot of Nigerians there.
Yeah, yeah,
Even though the hipsters, the middle class white folks, are trying to take over again, you know,
yeah.
gentrify, but we can't rectify. It's happening all the time. You see,
Mm,
even
wow.
Brixton's mini Jamaica, because we've got the Windrush Square, you
Yeah.
know, down there, and they're trying to change it, but they can't because now we built the Black Cultural Archives. You see.
So they can't do it.
And that's where I met Sir Lenny Henry, was round there.
Wait. Oh, I got a
Comedian.
crazy, I got a crazy story about Sir Lenny Henry.
He just followed me today on Twitter. I was like, finally, after a year
Wow.
not seeing him. You know?
Have you met him before then?
Yeah.
Yo, that's a good dude. Like, you know, it's so crazy. I did the Fringe in 2019. You
hmm
know, I had a small show, whatever. I was doing my show. This dude, he comes to the show. I have no idea who he is, so I just do my show, whatever. Then after he's talking to me and he's like, "Yo, my father was like that growing up because I did the story about my father and just him being absent or whatever." So we had
Yeah.
this little conversation, and then he's like, "Hey, man, you should have more people at your show." I was like, "Yeah, you know, it is what it is. It's Fringe, you know. Sometimes you'll have a full show. Sometimes you'll have 10 people in the room."
It's
So,
true.
but I didn't know he was a comedian. I didn't know who he was. So he leaves, and then I go in the back to just get my jacket or whatever. And I'm back there. There's another comic that's like looking at me, and I'm just
Yeah.
looking at him. He's like, "Yo, you know who that was?" I was like, "That was Lenny." And I said, "Who's that?" And it was like
We
Lenny
say
Henry.
Lenny Bruce.
I said, no, I ain't that crazy. I ain't that crazy. I didn't have Kool-Aid that day, so I definitely wasn't that crazy. So then when he said it, I said, "No, I've never heard. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know how big he was. I didn't know this dude was like a giant in British comedy." So
Yeah.
so he's telling me, and then I'm like, "Yo, we took a picture and everything." And then the next thing I know, I posted the picture because I was like, "Oh shit, like, oh, this guy's big." And then I mean, he looked out for me, man. Like he took a picture with me and told people to come to the show, and like it
Yeah.
helped. It helped a lot. This dude's a
See
legend.
that there? And that's what I love to hear when black people help each other do that, because Lenny Henry's getting old now. And like I said to him, I said, listen, I want to try and create some sort of what's called recognitions of comedians who don't get that what's the word I'm looking for? That respects, because they've been working the game for so long.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. So TV channels like what you guys have, like BET, we don't have those. We have
Yeah.
BBC. You know, I did a speech about it at the British Museum called "It's Simple But It Ain't Easy."
Oh yeah, no, I seen it. I seen
Oh,
it.
did you watch it?
Yeah, yeah.
What's your thoughts on it?
Now it was yo. I have the worst memory in the world, but I do remember watching it.
Okay,
And
I'll break it down. So in the beginning, I showed you guys' first black female comic who went on TV, Mums Mabley.
Yep.
And then I showed our
Yep.
first one, Angela Ma, who's still alive now and still looks young and fantastic. And yeah, she's one of the people that I look up to as well, Angela Ma. But look how the gap years are. That was 1960. Mums Mabley was on TV. And in the 1990s, 30 odd years later, we had a first black woman, you know,
Wow.
who's Caribbean descent, you know, Jamaican descent. And then I think it was the mid 90s, the first African one was Gina Yashere, but her name was Regina at the time.
Yeah, Gina, I know Gina.
On Jonathan Ross's Big Show back in the mid 90s. And I was still a baby. But I make sure with me, because I'm everyone who's watching, I'm born in 1991, so I was known as the baby girl of comedy when I first started. I was 16 years old, so I had to keep up with the Joneses, or my elders, shall I say, just to step up into the game, you know. And that's how I learned how to respect the game as well for black people in the urban circuit. So when I learned about urban and mainstream, I was like, what is mainstream now? What is this now? What kind of Wizard of Oz is this? So I look at it and I was like, that's a lot of white people. And it weren't just white, it was like Liverpudlian, Northern, Irish, Welsh, you know what I mean? So it was like, and then you see one black person on that lineup. So when I saw you now on the friggin' BBC red button thing, I was like, oh, we have another American, you know. So I was like,
yeah.
And that's when I had to do my little due diligence, be like a detective, and go like, okay, so here we are. Okay, so was he NBA player?
Black American over here getting on the show? Well, yeah.
But nah, you're not the only one though that's performed like here in Britain. So you got Reginald D. Hunter, who I've spoken to as well.
Yeah,
you've got Brandon Palmer. You've got Phileo Huff. Who else?
Yeah, I think I followed both of those guys that you suggested.
Good. Yeah, man, they're brilliant. They're brilliant, and they show. And what I love about all you guys is that you show your individuality. You have dynamics when you guys perform. Not saying us British ones can't do it, but it's that thing that we need to give ourselves more permission, no matter who the audience is. You know, to be ourselves, but also be more direct on our punchlines. You know, we have that premise, but it's the way we end it. And that's what I'm still learning today. You know?
Hey, listen,
it's really hard.
It is hard, but you know, it's all like learning. Like, and we're all learning at our own pace, really. That's
why I mean, I spoke to two other American comedians before I had the operation. D. Ray Davis. People think that we're related because my surname Davis and we're light skinned. So I'm like, funny. Yeah, you owe me Christmas presents. And then and I spoke to Godfrey as well. And Godfrey said to me,
monster.
You know, what I meant is that, you know, you guys got to take your time because you're still, what's it called? This level here in comedy. You're not this level here in comedy. I said, well, thank you very much. But, you know, I want to be up here. I don't want to have that ego here.
Yeah.
13 years is a long time, you know. Jesus.
Yeah. Godfrey's a heavyweight. Godfrey is like
he is. I do respect him.
Yeah,
I do respect him, and I do feel pretty. Even now, talking to you on this Instagram, I'm one of those people that would talk to anybody, no matter what level in comedy you are or wherever in the world. I would have that make conversation, because that's what's being lost right now, is the
Yeah.
communication of each artist or performer in the world, especially when it comes to black people,
Which
you
is
know?
crazy because now that we have the technology to do it whenever we want to do it, it's not being taken advantage of.
Yeah, people are not using it properly. They're just what it is. They're just using it to go. Oh, let me go speak to Dave Chappelle on Instagram. What if he don't want to speak to you? He's got about 50 million people. Like, speak to little Daniel over there, from Detroit. You know what I mean? Like, he's started. There could be
Oh,
family.
wow.
You know what I mean?
So okay. Just because I know I don't want this thing to cut off on me before I ask
I
all my
know.
questions, because it has that time limit becoming. I've been cut off a
I
couple
can't
of
stand it.
times.
They're watching us. Two black people having a
Exactly.
good conversation.
So let me ask this, and then we can get back to all this other conversation we have, which I enjoyed. Um, what as far as school goes, what's the funniest thing or the most interesting thing that happened to you while you were a student, whether it was primary, secondary, A levels, university, whatever?
I would say, I want to include in the university as well. Oh my
Yeah,
God. So basically,
whatever.
I went to drama school.
No, and
And I,
it's interesting because I'm like, you started stand up at 16, right? Is that what you said?
yeah,
So
when
to me, I'm wondering, like, I didn't start until very late, and so
I, t-
16.
I'll tell you the funny story that happened, yeah, where I started comedy. So
Mhm.
I'm dyslexic, so I don't write down my jokes. I probably put little notes, side notes. So me and William Shakespeare had beef one time, right? And because my English teacher, she wanted me to go, Miss Alcorn, her name is Alcorn, and white lady, and she wanted me to read in it in front of the class. And I say, "Oh, look, your turn now, Dominique. Look, read on page 36." And I'm like, "To be, not to be, to be." You know what? That's it, Miss. To be or not to be, ask your own damn question, yeah? Because this guy's too nosy. I can't stand him. So I slammed the book, started cussing, and walked out. Changed my
Yeah.
skirt and my tights into my PE jogging bottoms and pumps, shoes, and then started gallivanting in central London. And I went past Comedy Cafe, which is not there anymore,
Uh-huh.
near Shoreditch and Old Street.
Oh yeah,
And I heard,
East London, right? East London area.
yeah, sort of, yeah, East
So it's
Central,
like
yeah.
Hoxton
And
area. Yeah.
yeah. And then I heard laughter. So I was thinking, oh, is that a comedy place or is that a cult? Let me find out, like Scooby Doo. So what I did, I went through to the back doors of the comedy place, and then it was amateur night. So then I walked in there with my Reebok hoodie, which I don't have anymore, and my jogging bottoms, Diodoras. And I said, "This is me." Boo! You sound rubbish. Some lady was trying to make some jokes, and me and my loud self was like, "Boo!" So this big, big hand, yeah, this big Shaquille O'Neal hand went on my shoulder, right? And my heart was like, I thought it was the security or the bouncers. And it was a compere called Tony Hendricks. Check him out. And he said, "Oh, can you do better?" This is me. Yeah, 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 yeah. And then he said, "What's your name?" I said, "My name, Variety D." He went, "All right, I'm gonna put you on next." What? Yeah, you're gonna do 5 minutes. I was like, okay. Me, my big mouth. So then I went on there, I went on stage, and I just talked about what happened that day. I talked about my friends, my bullies. I talked about my old area, about the rich kids or the rich people and the poor people. How they talk a bit more like this, more elegant. Quite the contrary to the establishment. So I did all that kind of stuff, and because my voice is so husky, even when I was 16 years old, they've a lot of people either had narcotics or they were just drunk. They thought I was a black woman playing a teenager.
Mm.
Because at the time we had Miss Jocelyn and Catherine Tate, who were known for playing these characteristics on TV, the comedy sketches. But the compere said, "Your slang is too fluent. How old are you?" I said, "This is me. This is me pulling up the chest going, I'm 17 and a half, sir." And he went, the glasses went, "Stop lying." I was like, Okay, I'm 16, but don't tell my mum, please. So beg you. You know what I mean? And he was like, where you live? I said, I live in South London. And he's like, listen, you want to drop home? I said, you're a stranger? No, I am well known. Your mum probably might know me, you know, from movies. And the
Wow.
guy named Tony Hendricks, he's originally from Jamaica. And you wouldn't tell that he's Jamaican because he's white. Like he's called Jamaican Paleface, nickname.
Mm.
And yeah, he dropped me home and he said to me before I got home, I got out of the car, he said, get your backside back to school because you've got potential. Redo your GCSEs and come back on stage. And I did. And I
Oh
thank him.
wow.
You know,
Wow.
it was a blessing in disguise to say that I am something. I'm not a parasite. I'm born for a purpose. You know.
Mm.
Uh, and again, there's still not much black women in the comedy circuit here in this country, and it's really sad because I want to create that sort of masterpiece that what's the name? Tiffany Haddish did. That She Ready, but
Yeah.
are we
Yeah.
ready?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Mm.
Because we keep fighting each other. There was a comedian, that speech I did, it's simple but ain't easy. There one comedian blocked me from Twitter and WhatsApp because of that speech. Because I was
Serious.
speaking the truth. I didn't even say her name. It was the bit where I said it was a bit where I said, I know a comedian who uses her assets to get herself forward in the game, but you know, comedy has no age because those hush puppies will be flapjackies and you'll still be funny. Amen. And that's all I
Mm.
said.
Yeah.
And after that I talked about my shenanigans in Edinburgh when I had some rendezvous up in Edinburgh Fringe because I was hungry, horny, and you know, happiness. I'm like, but where's the penis? Happiness. You know what I'm saying? So I told my truth, you
Yeah.
know, but I think with this other comedian circumstance, because she's up there, she wants to be have a clean kind of like thing. She don't want people to know, and she's black as well. But what you do, I think that my mum, I told my mum this a lot of times because I still live with my mum. I said, there's no way I'm gonna have sex to get up the ladder in the game. And at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, when I do climb up the ladder, I'm going to leave the ladder alone so other people can climb it too. I don't want to take it with me and be greedy and then lie and then go, hey, Orlando, you're Mr. Baxter. You can do it. I have faith in you. And I've got the keys on my side and the ladder's down here. Nah. And that's what's going on,
Mm.
you know? So, and that's really sad. That's why when you do check out on the websites of, I think, do you guys call it castings or agencies?
Yeah.
You don't see much black people in there, managements. You don't see much black clients
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of them are so greedy. They'll say to the quote unquote, oh, there's nobody else there like me. No, there really isn't. So there's ego, and then there's you're telling a lie. We
Mm-hmm.
need Judge Judy here. You're telling a lie. Right? You lying for, you
Mm.
know? So and I want that to stop.
Now let me ask you this question: like, as far as the pandemic goes, like,
Mm.
and I know you've been recovering,
I still
but
am. That's why I'm hiding my scar, like
no,
on
I
my
see.
brain
You should have
surgery.
told me. I would have sent you one of my Boston hats, and you could have rocked that. We could
Send
have
it.
been.
I will pay.
We,
I will pay you VAT. Send it.
we would have
I
been
will say
talking
that
on the
B.
show.
That B stands for Brixton, not Boston. Nothing.
There you
Like,
go. No, what do you? How do you feel about, like? Do you think a lot of the clubs are gonna get lost, or has it already started? Because I've talked to a
no.
couple of British comics, and they're saying it's like rough right now, like
Yeah,
super
they
rough.
are saying that, but I think what it is now is that the higher level ones, comedians, they're getting all the good goods now because they got Jonathan Ross doing another show now, so he's reincarnating that show he did back in the 90s. So they're doing their thing,
What do you
but
mean,
they're
as far as network, or
yeah
in
on
terms?
TV, yeah. He's got Jonathan Ross's Comedy Club.
Mhm.
That's on. Um, what other ones? We got comedy rooftop ones. So people on the roof.
People on the
Now
roof.
I don't have vertigo, but if one piece of wind goes, woo, then that's it. I'm gone. You know.
Or if you have a bad set, yeah, is that a good idea to have it on the roof? You know how comics get real depressed, when the shit don't go the way they want it to go.
That's true.
That's kind of
Psychological
dangerous.
help. But it's like But yeah, I don't think comedy's gonna die because when you okay, let's reverse it.
Hmm.
Say if, which will probably happen, this social media will black out just like that.
Hmm.
The real comedians will stand up. You know, say the real Slim Shady will stand up. The real
Yeah.
comedians will stand up. Because I know
Yeah.
some comedians on here, this social media going, and I'm the best comedian in the world. I got 2 trillion followers. That's nice. But when you're dead, yeah, who's gonna come to your funeral again? Them same 2 trillion? I don't
Yeah.
think so. You know, not even past the dollar will come because you've got no dollars. You know, in your coffin. So wait, I know about that, man. But
They don't want people to come to the funeral anyways. They probably just want likes. That's it. Just just
lights
broadcast
and
live.
hearts.
How many likes did I get? They just raise up out of the casket.
I've seen you guys commercials as well. I saw a commercial where this American guy, the black guy, goes, "Hey, the funerals cost too much money. We know how to help you. Pay in installments now, only $20 each month." And all you see the guy from the coffin go, $20. Oh my God, you know.
I haven't seen that commercial.
I'm gonna send it to you. I was like, "You're meant to be dead. So lie down." Like what the?
Now, well, now to me, now this is a good question for you because I feel like I haven't seen your stand up, but I feel like your energy and like you're someone that feeds off the liveness of a show, like of a crowd,
Yeah,
like that
I go
environment
I,
gives
I go off the cuff. I go off the cuff because I also represent not just black women in comedy, but
you.
also disabled comics. And what's very taboo, we don't have no disabled representation in the black British comedy
Mm.
circuit. I don't know about America either. Is there anyone disabled?
Um, no,
I
I don't
know one.
recall.
I know one brother who had a stroke. He's American. His name's I think his name's Kevin J. Robinson or something like that. Keith Robinson,
Oh,
something.
Keith Robinson. Yes, Keith Robinson had
I
yeah,
met
yeah.
him at the Union Chapel a few
Yeah,
years
Keith.
ago.
He's another like big legend,
He's a
especially
he's
in
a veteran. He's a veteran.
yeah,
I
yeah,
called him soldier.
big legend, funny ass
I
dude.
called.
Shout out to Keith Robinson.
Yeah, yeah.
The point I was trying to get to is what do you how do you feel about the virtual comedy, or have you done any? What's your take on it?
Oh, what
Like
on Instagrams or
doing
TikTok?
shows like on Zoom, doing shows
Oh
virtually.
no, yeah, I've
That's
done Zoom. I like Zoom, but the thing is with Zoom, it's like having a conversation. To be
mhm,
honest, like what we're doing now.
yeah. So
That's how it feels like. Because
yeah,
even the people's down here, like shout out to Corey, he's seen the commercial that I was talking about. You know,
he's talking. Corey's one of my homies from Boston. He's talking about. He said one of my other comic friends, Chris Tab, is disabled. Is that why? Is that why he wears those shoes, Corey?
you
This is a question
see.
between me and Corey. He wears these 20 red shoes. Um, but yeah, so you feel okay doing those shows, even though it feels like conversation. Do you feel like it's a good uh,
Well, I'm on
substitute?
house arrest.
Oh,
Or like,
okay.
listen, Lando, I'm on house arrest right now, or as I call it, healing process. So I have to do what I gotta do, you
Yeah.
know, or I'm gonna have to do our OnlyFans page, and you know what that means. And you know, I don't have enough. I don't have
I
enough
know what that
breasts to
means.
like.
You're gonna be making Kool-Aid.
Well, you see, so I've got. I don't have those tays, you know, that will give me the money, you know.
Yeah.
I've, I've seen it. I'm like, mm-mm. And the thing, I performed for porn stars as well. Not like that, but stand-up comedy. And they're very insecure. They're very
they're
like, oh my
insecure.
God.
Well,
Yeah. And it's like when I bumped
so like
into
they
when I
like when
went to
you
LA, I bumped into a few
uh,
porn stars as well from West Coast Productions. I think what's the brother's name now? From Bang Bros Volume 2. And I recognized him. I said, the thing is that I was like, I recognized him. I was like, why do I know this guy? Does he
wait,
owe me
I'm just
money?
laughing. I'm laughing because you think I know what the name is. What's his name? Volume 2, Orlando Bank Brothers. I'm like, I got no goddamn idea. I'm like, what is she talking about? I don't know who the brother is. What's his name? What's his name though? Because
I
I
think it
know
was
volume
Jake.
3 and beyond. I don't know volume 1 and 2. 3.
I think
Volume
it was
3.
Jake Steed or Wesley Pipes or the other brother,
Okay.
Bumper somethings. Like, but they were all sitting around Starbucks, you know, and I was like, I recognize you.
Yeah.
Why do I know you? Are you my cousin? What's going on? You know?
Why'd you say
And,
they were insecure?
do you know what I was looking for as well? I was looking for Sunset Boulevard.
Oh, you was looking for Sunset Boulevard. You went in a coffee shop with all the black porn stars were at. What? You were in the wrong place. Can I say that for you?
Do you know what? You guys, roads in America are just like a game of Sims. I don't like it.
That's crazy. Well,
But again, they were lovely though. They were really humble. And I said, they were saying, how the hell do you know like us? What the hell? Because remember, I'm young. You know, my old
I
man
see.
back in the day, he used to have the videos, the VCRs, you know, and then this guy, Jake Steed, used to rap whilst he's like doing his thing with the ladies. I'm thinking, how you multitask like that? You got songs and you, bruh. Like,
I listen. I've never heard of a brother that's out there rapping and banging at the same time. So either it exists or you had some bootleg. You had a bootleg tape that was over in the UK. He was really from Nigeria. He was in Lagos, which is. Oh, man.
no, no, you gotta write that down. You gotta write it down. That's definitely.
Oh my goodness.
Everybody is human, no matter what part of the industry you work in, you're human, you know, and that was a wake up call for
Yeah.
me, you know. So being a
Hmm.
comedian, my demographics is everybody. I don't care. Even my most challenging audience was the blind audience, which were blind army veterans in Greenwich,
Yeah.
near Cutty Sark. And you couldn't talk about, oh, did you watch EastEnders yesterday, or did you watch you know, something, you know, because they're blind. They've been blind since the World War II. So
Did you watch
one of my favorite
something?
jokes, one of my favorite jokes was
Yeah.
when I was talking about going doo doo, you know, to the toilet, and I said, gentlemen, my army friends, don't it seem like that you guys are going to the gym rather than going to the toilet? You know what I mean? When you're doing on your not your ones but your twos, because you sound like this. You go 1, 2, 3. Ah. It just sounds like you're weightlifting, and then you finished the Olympics. You know, and they loved it. They were just like, "Oh my god, it really does sound like that."
Oh wow.
To the point where one blind guy tried to flirt with me. He said, "Oh, Variety, you're so hilarious. You know, I'd like to touch you with my third leg." I was like, "Excuse me, are you sure you blind? Are you sure?" Mhm. You know,
Ah, see that?
but it's so magical, and it just
And that
goes to
was
show
such a
that I'm.
listen, that was such a good. Are you sure? And they didn't even get that tag. They didn't even
No,
get.
they didn't see it. They yet to fact that they. I make sure that they're blind. You know, I was like, yeah, Stevie Wonder blind, Ray Charles blind. You know what I mean? So
Mm,
yeah, but there's just those things there. I can do any type of audience and make them laugh, even little younger kids. You
yeah.
know, because I watched Sesame Street back in the day. Sesame Street's been banned now from Britain because it's got too much, you know, innuendos. But I still watch it, you know, on YouTube. I'm like, hey, what? Big Bird sound a bit different, you know? What's going on? What happened? You know, like, I'm like, Cookie still on them drugs? Okay, I see what's going on. You know,
Yeah.
but Bird only had adopted some kids yet. You know,
I think
I
I
have
think
questions.
I think it's hilarious that it's off air and you still watch it. You still find that. You find
No, I still watch it, man. My brothers, because my brothers are autistic. So the youngest one's got ADHD, and the
uh,
other one's more an introvert.
yeah.
So,
Uh,
um, so
you
yes,
got to hook them
it's
with the
just yeah,
old school shows, huh? There you
yeah,
go.
man. Definitely, you can't
That's a
beat the
good
old
sister
school.
right there. Look at that. That's a good sister right there. Well, listen, I don't want this to get cut off, Dominique. It's been an honor and a pleasure, and I can't wait
You
to
too, sir.
meet up with you when I come to the UK, or if you're ever out in Boston. Please don't hesitate to hit
Yeah.
me up. You know what I mean?
Also,
But
talk to my other two veterans of comedy, Brandon Palmer and Philio
yeah, yeah,
Huffman.
Yeah, definitely. Like I added them, but I didn't hit them up. But I'm definitely I'm gonna reach out to them because I'm curious to see how their journey is going. Because there was at
Yeah,
one point in
ask
time
them
I
how
thought
they
about
think British humor is like for
comedy,
them, and they live
and
here.
they've been over there for a couple of years now, right? As well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Okay, I definitely would do that. Shout out to Brendan and what's I forgot
and
how to say his
Filio.
name. Filio. That's a dope name too.
Yeah, Brandon Palmer and Filio Huff.
All right. Shout out to the guys. I look forward to talking to them as well. Dominic, thank you again. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Have
You
a
say my
great night. Thank
government
you for
name,
staying up
Variety
as well.
D, man.
Variety D. You don't go by your first name. Variety D.
No, because I
You
stole
should have
sweets from the
told me
shops
that.
when I was
Listen,
young,
you
man.
should
They're
have
still
told me
looking
that
for
at
me.
7:01 or 12:01. You know I've been drinking Kool-Aid, so my energy is like
You've been drinking more than that. You've been drinking Jack Daniels,
yeah,
Patron. I know how you
I had
Americans
a
drink.
little
Like,
L, a little L. But thank you again, Variety D. Hey, do you have
nah.
anywhere if people wanted to find you, where can they find you at?
Yeah,
Like
just
website?
check. You can Google me, Variety, letter D for delicious. Comedian, because people think it's D-double-E. I'm not a rapper. Um, and you can find me on Twitter. You can find me on YouTube. Check my YouTube page, because I've got this new demo reel I do for BBC Radio 1. So fingers crossed I get to work there when I get better. Because they're looking for
Yeah.
new radio presenters. They need some more black women in there, man. My mum paid TV license. So yeah, Variety D. And yeah, everything's just Variety D. If you can't find me, Google it. You'll see my stuff. It will pop up. Boom. It's easy.
Well, y'all go follow Variety D. Thank you guys for watching. Nothing but love for you,
And thank you
Variety
very
D.
much,
I hope
Mr.
you get better
Baxter.
soon. And I look forward to meeting you.
You too, man.
All right. See you, sister. Bye.
Night, night.